You are one decision away from the life you actually want. Not 10, not 1,000, one. But the decision isn't the one you think it is. It's not more hours. It's not more strategies. It's not another course. And I'm about to tell you the exact decision that separates the people quietly stuck at $300,000 to $500,000 from the people running past 5 million. I've mentored them on both sides. Lock in with me now, and once you see this, you're never going to unsee it. 10 years ago, this isn't a metaphor, it was a Tuesday afternoon. I walked out to the garage of a house I couldn't afford anymore, and there was an orange foreclosure sticker on the door. I was so embarrassed. I was already $150,000 in debt. It was 3 weeks from my wedding. I was already in terrible health. I was 42 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was really trying. I had read every book, attended every seminar I could. I took every note, and I was a great starter, but I was a terrible finisher. And maybe you can relate to that, where you get started, but you never create consistency. I want you to understand something, because this is the part most people watching this already know, but refuse to admit to themselves. I didn't need a new strategy. I had a strategy coming out of my ears. I was acting on too many strategies. I needed a new standard. I needed a new identity, and I needed a much different level of awareness. I needed to become a completely different person than the one who put that sticker on that door. Here's the real cost of what you've been doing. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about that slow, quiet thing that happens when you grind for a decade and the number doesn't move. You start building a smaller concept of yourself, and you start setting small goals, and you're okay with just getting by, and you start to call it realistic. That is the most expensive thing you'll ever do, and that's what this video is going to undo. Wealth doesn't begin with a plan, it begins with a decision. And I'm talking about a real decision, an unshakable, irrevocable, committed decision that puts you to sleep at night excited, that wakes you up excited. And 97% of adults walking this planet have never actually made one in their life. Think about that. In 2009, I could take you back. I made a phone call, and on the other end was a man who had a tremendous impact in my life, in Bob Proctor. And I had just flown to Toronto with $400 in my pocket to hear him speak. And when I got home, I made a decision that changed everything. It wasn't a goal. It wasn't intention. It wasn't a plan. It was a real decision that I was going to burn all my bridges. And I was going to learn from the best. And I was going to do exactly what he told me to do. But here's what I mean by that word decision. Because we throw it around so casually, it's lost all of its power. Nothing happens until you decide. I want you to take a good look at your results right now. I want you to look at what you're earning, how you're living, how your health is, where your confidence is. That's all connected to the decisions you've made in the past. A decision, a real decision that I'm talking about, is there's only plan A, where you burn all your bridges. And that's what an irrevocable, committed decision is. Decision means death of everything opposite. Now I want you to think right now, because you may be sitting there watching this and say, Arash, I've made a decision. Now, have you made every choice with the death of the opposite? That's when you know if you made a decision. It literally means to cut off all other options. Cut off the escape hatch. Cut off the plan B, the plan C. Cut off that little voice in your head that protects you that says, if this doesn't work, I'll go back to what I was doing. That's not a decision. That is you protecting yourself from the life you really want to live. That little voice is what has been keeping you exactly where you are. In my first year after I made that decision, I released 42 pounds of weight, I paid off the $150,000 in debt, and I earned a positive $282,000. Within 2 years, I crossed $1 million a year. Now, I'm not telling you this to impress you. It's to impress upon you. If I can do it, you could do it. But nothing changed until I decided I was going to change. Circumstances was never my problem. The circumstances you have in front of you are not your problem. You have to change what's going on inside, and that starts with decision. Today, my worst month is more than I used to make in a year. And I'm telling you this is not to impress you, but it's to show you what's possible the moment you stop hoping and start deciding. Now, I hope right now something's percolating inside of you. Now, you may not be ready for a decision. Now, I hope you are, because you will be by the end of this video. But I just want an ounce of desire. If I get an ounce of desire, I can activate you like you've never been activated before. You never attract what you want. You always attract who you are. You never attract what you want. I want to say it again. You attract who and what you are. So I want you to be honest with yourself for a few seconds. When is the last time you burned your bridges? When is the last time you said death of everything opposite of the decision and you never talked yourself out of? But here's what almost everyone misses about decision. And it's why most people who still end up exactly where they started. They always chase money. I want you to stop chasing money. I want you to chase your greatness. It'll never catch you and you can't catch it. Money is not the prize, freedom is. And money is a mirror. And whatever you currently have in your life is a reflection to the penny who you've decided to be. Your subconscious mind is so powerful. It has so much potential inside of it. And how you're directing it is exactly what you're getting. You have one set for your weight. You have a thermostat set for your relationship. You have a thermostat set for your income. And whatever number is set on that thermostat is the number you're going to keep hitting no matter what you do at the strategy level. You can change strategy to strategy. You can change the coach. You can work more hours for the rest of your life. But if the thermostat is set at $250,000 a year, you will make $250,000 a year. Maybe $250,000 up, maybe $250,000 down. But it will always reset to its set point. And every time the number tries to move, something, a canceled contract, a lost client, a family emergency, a decision you make that doesn't make sense, something pulls it right back to that set point. Now understand this. This is not bad luck. This is not the economy. This is not your market. This is your identity doing exactly what it was built to do. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you become. Wealth isn't someone you have to be different. Wealth is you becoming different. You don't want to start being somebody you're not. I want you to be yourself, but I want you to raise yourself. I want you to keep getting better and better every day. So how do you change this thermostat? Because if you just heard what I said and nodded and did nothing in 12 months, you're going to be in the exact same place, watching a different version of this video and telling yourself, maybe this time, you know what, 2027 is going to be my year. I said 2026, but things happened and I negotiated with myself. Right now, here's what you're going to do. Before I give you the practice, and I want you to actually pause when I'm done with this sentence, I put something together for you, a blueprint for wealth. It is a game changer. It is the complete protocol. Every concept I've given you in the last 9-10 minutes, and every practice I'm going to give you in the next 10 minutes lays out step by step so you can run it every single day for the next 90 days. This is the exact roadmap my private coaching clients pay me thousands of dollars a year to follow. And I'm putting it below this video for free. One link, first one in the description. Go grab it right now before we move on. Pause the video, open it in another tab. I'll wait for you. It's free. It's yours. It will make a tremendous transformation in your life. But here's the truth. It's only useful to the people who actually open it and run the plays. This is an exact playbook. Information without implementation is delusion. So go right now, then come back and finish this with me. Now, repetition is the mother of all learning. And your thermostat responds to exactly one thing, repetition at an emotional level. So I'm going to give you something right now, not in the next video, not when you sign up for something, right now, so you can start today. I want you to pull out your phone. I want you to open the clock app. I want you to set an alarm for every 3 hours between the time you wake up and the time you go to bed. When that alarm goes off, you're going to stop whatever you're doing in your tracks. And you're going to close your eyes, and for 2 minutes, just 2, you're going to repeat one sentence out loud under your breath. I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning, and here you insert your financial goal, or more every single month, and I love it. For example, if you have a goal of $100,000 a month, you would say, I'm so happy and grateful that I am now earning $100,000 or more every month, and I love it. I want you to pick the number you really want. But I want you to pick the number you're committed to. The number that makes you flinch, that makes you uncomfortable. That's the right number. Then for the last minute, with your eyes closed, I want you to see you already in possession of achieving that number. This isn't a daydream. You're going to see it, and you're going to think from the end, not to the end. I want you to see the bank statement. I want you to see the check. I want you to see the life. I want you to see people close to you congratulating you. I want you to really get in the feeling of it already being yours. Because in the mind of God, in the mind of the universe, it already is. Creation is already finished when we decide. You just have to catch up to it. Sound familiar? I'm sure you've heard about visualization 100 times and never done it for more than a week, right? But here's the rule. You are never going to accept anything in your imagination that you don't want to experience. For 3 minutes, every 3 hours, you're going to do the repetition over and over again. And in 30 days, you're going to turn this into a new program. This is not a technique. It's a standard. It's a daily non-negotiable. Every 3 hours, every day without exception. Because your subconscious is listening whether you're intentional about what you're feeding it or not. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I give this to all my clients. And they'll come to my live events and I'll hear all these alarms going off in my events and I just smile and they start laughing. They say, this is your technique. And I'll tell them, look how much has changed since then. Now, I want you to type in the chat right now, freedom. Because this is what's going to create freedom. This one practice, if you will do every 3 hours. See, most people won't do it, but I know you're not most people. I want you to type in the chat right now, freedom, if you're willing to do this. Now, right now, most of you are feeding your subconscious mind with garbage. You're feeding it with the news. You're feeding it with problems. You're feeding it with every reason why this is going to be hard. And then you wonder why your results don't change, why the thermostat never moves. But I'll tell you what happens about 2 weeks into this practice, and it's the reason 97% of people quit right before it works. Here's what happens 2 weeks in. You're going to be tested. And I want you to hear me when I say this. You're not going to see results right away. But if you will pass that point, that's your old self dying to keep you where you are. Your program does not want you to change. But you are being tested, and you're not being tested to be stopped. You're being tested to be able to hold this and keep improving it month after month. But I will tell you this is the test. Are you willing to pass it? Every single time I've raised my thermostat, within 2 to 3 weeks, something hits, and my old self is dying to bring me back. And I will tell you, persistence is absolutely essential to creating the life you want. Most people never persist. They don't see the results. Oh, I've tried it for a few days and they quit. That's not you. I want your motto to be, and brain tattoo this, I never quit, I never get tired. And understand this, the old you, the old me was that foreclosure sticker. It would have stopped most people. It didn't stop me. It made me hungrier. And I will tell you, everything in my mind thought I was crazy, thought I was delusional, but I kept persisting. And then I had a breakthrough. But understand, the evidence in your life is based on the past. It's not based on the future. The new me, the man I became, understood something the old me didn't. I don't have failures, I have feedback. That's all failing is, it's feedback. And everything I resist it because it's not part of my current programming, which means I have to do it. As soon as I feel discomfort, I do it now. And that's what I want you to be. I want you to do that. That setback, that pushback, that moment of adversity, that is not the universe telling you to go back. That is the universe asking you, how serious do you really want this? And I promise you, you're going to be tested. Now, most people answer with their behavior. They retreat. They shrink. They try a new strategy. They make the number lesser and lesser to be more comfortable. I want you to answer it differently. I want you to respond with a better attitude. I want you to respond with persistence. I want you to fall in love with your adversities. That's what is going to get you to your goal faster. Fall in love with the process. Become process driven. Fall in love with your goal. Already see yourself in possession of it. Fall in love with your adversities because you're a step closer. Fall in love with the disciplines. Freedom requires you to be disciplined. Fall in love with the version of you that gets built on the other side of this. Now, there's a practice I want you to steal from me today. Every time your mind produces a thought, an automatic negative thought, what we call an ANT, you do not argue with it, you do not suppress it, You flip it. It says, I can't afford this. You say, cancel. How can I afford this? I can't afford not to do this. I want you to get so good at accepting and rejecting ideas. When your mind says, I'm too tired to dream big anymore, cancel. I'm so happy and grateful now that everything is working perfectly in my life. Maybe this just isn't for someone like me, cancel. If one person can do it, I can do it. This was built for someone exactly like me, and I'm about to prove it. You and I, in this moment, are having automatic negative thoughts or automatic positive thoughts. And understand, thoughts create all. Thoughts travel faster than the speed of lightning. Think about that. So we don't want an automatic negative thought to get into our imagination. We want to cancel it right away. So what you're doing is every time you cancel it and reaffirm the opposite, you are literally rewiring that thermostat. But you've got to make this a practice, not when you're motivated, not when you feel like it. You've got to make this an obsession, because thoughts are the cause of all, as I said before. Because the thought you don't flip is the thought that moves the thermostat back down. You don't want to sabotage yourself. And if I can get you to do this for 30 days, the game is going to change in your favor. Now, you've felt this before, right? A setback hits, and everything you built feels like it's on edge. But what if that moment wasn't the problem? What if the moment was the price of admission? Before I give you the final piece, and this one is where everything I've just said actually locks into place, let me show you why none of what we covered so far will hold without it. Your income will never exceed your standards. Not for 1 month, not for 1 quarter, not ever. Standards always wins. And this is the line. This right here is the line that separates the people quietly stuck at $500,000 from the people running past 5 million. It's the line I promised you at the start of this video. Goals are what you want. Standards are what you accept. You don't rise to your goals. You always rise to your standards. Goals without matching standards are delusion. They're daydreams. They're entertainment. It's you lying to yourself. You can want 5 million a year all day long, but if your standard is that you work around other people's urgency, that you respond to every DM, that you say yes to things that dilute your focus, that you wait until you feel like it before you do the hard thing, you're never going to change the thermostat. You will make what your standard accepts. And take a look right now. What are you earning right now? That's what your standard accepts. And your standard is quietly working in the background. And it is going to give you exactly what you give it. Now, we've got to draw a firm line. I'm not allowing anything under this to control me. It is impossible to exceed the standards we hold of ourselves. When I say impossible, it is impossible. If you're still waiting to feel like it before you move, if you're still consulting your motivation, your mood, your energy level to decide what you do today, you are actively working against yourself. No matter how many hours you're working, you're going to get the same results. The wealthy do not wait for the feeling. They move first and the feeling catches up. Motivation always fades. I'm not interested in motivation. I'm interested in drive. Drive comes from standards, not feelings. So I want you to do something for me today. Before you click on another video, before you do one more thing, take out a piece of paper. Write down 3 standards, not 3 goals. 3 standards, 3 things from this day forward you no longer will accept in your life. I no longer accept working without purpose. I no longer accept giving my family a life of mediocrity. I no longer accept making decisions from fear. Whatever they are for you, write them. And then I want you to put them in the opposite. I want you to make them in the positive tense. Now you wrote them down. So you'll write the exact opposite. If you are giving your family mediocrity right now, say, I am responsible for creating my success. That is my standard. If you're procrastinating, your standard is I do everything immediately. And I want you to do this for the next 90 days. Because understand this, your standard creates your story creates your identity, and your identity creates your results every single time. Now, I want you to ask yourself this one question right now. Who in your life has a lower standard than you? And are you unconsciously matching them because of comfort? Because that answer, for most of you, is the game. And this is where everything I've told you in the last 20 minutes comes together. You came into this video thinking this was about more hustle, more hours, a better strategy, a better tactic. You're leaving knowing it was always about identity. The decision before evidence, the thermostat you've been fighting, the daily repetition that reprograms it, the adversity that tests it, the standard that locks it in. Every one of those pieces together is the only mindset you will ever need to attract wealth. And not the fake kind, not the Instagram kind, the real kind, the kind that shows up in your marriage, in your morning, in your presence, in the version of yourself your kids get to watch grow up. You are not behind, you are becoming. A quantum leap is right in front of you. It is your birthright, not a hope, not a possibility, it is a birthright. You are a spiritual being living in a physical body. And the life you actually want is not somewhere out in the future. You have to earn your way to it. It is already finished. Now it's waiting for your disciplines. It's waiting for your habits. And it's waiting for your decisions to catch up. I want you to picture something, not 5 years from now, 6 months from today. I want you to imagine in 6 months, you walk into the room and the person you used to be wouldn't even recognize you. Different standards, different decisions, different relationship with money, different body, different energy in your marriage, different version of the man or woman you were built to be. That version of you already exists. Creation is already finished. The only question left, and it is the only one that has ever mattered, is whether you're willing to become them. Now, I want you to ask yourself, in 1 year from now, you're either going to be so proud of yourself or you're going to regret it and saying, I didn't decide. Don't let that be you. Now, if this video is landing the way I think it is, and even one sentence in the last 20 minutes hits somewhere real, I want you to do 2 things before you move. 1, subscribe. Why? Because I keep putting out great content for you. And because I want you to understand the next 12 months is going to be built specifically for the person you're becoming, not the one you've been. Hit subscribe right now so nothing slips past you. And 2, I want you to comment one word, just one word, decided. It's already in the past tense. That is a start because every person who puts that word in the comment is making a statement to themselves. And I want that statement to be that I'm a great starter and a great finisher. That you are done negotiating with the smallest version of yourself. Done. And I want you to send them to me because I read every comment and I want to see your name in there. I want you to start owning your power, not hiding. I want you to be out in front because that's telling yourself that I am done playing small. I'm done playing it safe. But there's one question I have to answer before you leave. It's a question my private clients ask me almost always. Arash, how long does this actually take? Because what I just gave you works. I watched it work in thousands and thousands of people. And the answer to that question is not what most mindset coaches will tell you. I'm going to give you the honest answer in the next video. Click it right now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't bookmark it. The universe loves speed. Money loves speed. And the best version of your life is not behind you. It is ahead of you. And it is a lot closer than you think. Wealth isn't something you chase. It's someone you become. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. You're one decision away from changing your life.